Yo, welcome back. I'm Clay, and today,
Are you ready for this?
no, that was actually my first ult ever on Zaku 2 melee, but it's fine because it's actually so broken that I was carrying even the most cursed lobbies. And before we get started, I do want to thank everyone again for all the love and the recent subscribers. You guys make it all worth it. So thank you. And I basically upload every day now. So if you're new, subscribe. And I am doing a giveaway this week for 1,000 Gundam coins for one subscriber that comments hashtag ZERKERGANG. So you do actually have to be subbed, and the bot I'm using knows the truth. And also make sure you join the Discord so you can stay up to date with everything that I'm doing. And for now, we're just going to let this one rip like a true Beyblade.
3, 2, 1, let it rip!
It's so ridiculous because usually an ultimate in this game picks up maybe 1 or 2 kills, but this ultimate is so broken that it gets all the kills. It really actually lets you solo carry the game, and it makes me feel like if I was watching UFC and watching Chris Bennett do a spin kick, but as a Gundam. Like if he had a Spirit Gundam, it would be Zaku 2 Melee. And I've never in a game felt more satisfied to spin in a circle. It's absolutely out of control, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. It's actually so fun that if you haven't tried it yet, you're actually missing out, because even with the worst teams, like I'm not even joking, I was able to spin in at the last second and just hard carry. Oh, and they actually do have voice in game. You actually just press P and then join the lobby, so get in there. And join the team chat. It's not that hard. I want to talk. I want to hear the nerd screams in the mic. I want it all. So get in there so we can communicate and stop being toxic. Because not joining voice in Overwatch 2, I mean Gundam Evo is toxic. And you'll actually have more fun in voice chat. If somebody's being a dick, then just mute them. It's not really that big of a deal. But just to get back to the kit, the ult damage is insane. And the real thing that shocked me about it was it's just ridiculous duration. It lasts so long that it's like, I think it actually just needs a nerf, because it just makes you feel like you have control over the entire lobby, especially when they're all stacked up on a point and you just W key in and go sicko mode. The only problem is sometimes you get stunned out of it if you don't pop your E before you go in with it, and then you actually feel pain. Like it's agony, but it's all worth it for those big moments and those huge carries. Just make it feel so good. And I haven't had too many wins or losses where I actually wasn't MVP when I played it. And if you want to see some raw gameplay or whatever, I started a second channel where I'm just going to spam upload games, and that's going to be linked in the description too. But some mistakes I personally made in the first couple games that I think you should try to avoid are things like overextending because you're actually not that beefy, and wasting your E, which kind of basically are the same thing. It's basically just a full rooted invulnerable for a few seconds, and pushing it at the wrong time actually just gets you instantly killed. But it is a really valuable body block tool. Like you can body block with it for a res, and you can soak a ton of damage with it. And when you do soak damage, it generates rage. And you can pop your rage while you're invulnerable. Then the shield stacks up and you come out of it swinging like a champ. So getting into a situation like this where you WK in and die to respawn at your next point, and you end up coming out with a kill or two and a ton of extra ultimate charge, it becomes insanely valuable, and you have to make sure that you're on top of that. And some of the best combos I ended up using that really instigated people was like auto attack F into RMB, or RMB charge into F auto. And that seemed to be the best one, is when you just charge them really quick, they're up in the air, and then you use your F, which is the vertical slash, and then you auto them once or twice, they'll just disappear. And if you're enraged, they'll just die in the one auto. And if you want to fast active your RMB, you just push it and then instantly tap left click. And the second you push it, it just goes out instantly, which feels pretty overpowered, but it is really cool. So when it all comes together, it actually feels like a pretty tight combo. But it doesn't stop there, because the right mouse button charge has so many things going for it. Like I can't tell you the amount of people that were just completely caught off guard when you rip their shield off with it, because it just instant break shield and does damage to them, and it knocks them back. Or you use it as a dash to get out of a situation. The whole kit actually flows insanely well together, and in your first couple of games, it does feel pretty clunky. But after you get over that, you're going to be catching people out like crazy. And the only times I really struggled was when I had that special team. Like, you know exactly who I'm talking about, the no voice Andes. And when you have them, it really just gives you the vibe of a bruiser from other games with no pressure on the map. You kind of just get melted because of the amount of people on you. But I don't think that's a character specific problem. I think that's more of like a general problem. Because even in those situations, I'm going in 1v6 and coming out even or with a +1, and it always feels like I can make a play on the map. And there's been so many times where I pop my E into my shield and just come out clutch with an ult that just wipes their whole team.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
And that really just made me want to keep playing him so I could master it. And since I love playing Barbatos so much, I really had to start comparing them to each other for climbing ranked and what I would prefer and how I dealt with him. So don't get me wrong, I actually do love Barbatos. I think he's pretty top tier at just creating chaos and making people uncomfortable. But Zaku 2 Melee just has so much pressure with his presence that after people noticed I was carrying, I was getting focused like the majority of the time, which is definitely a good thing because it helps you build your buff up faster. So getting focused is actually good. And then when you get that buff spin to win off, you basically just win any game that was lost. Like, you know, when that last second is happening, the point, everything's falling apart, and you spin in and you kill 6 people and you cap the point and win last second, like nothing feels better. It's literally the only ultimate that gives me that Overwatch feeling where you want to wait for it or hold it for that perfect moment just so you can win not just a fight, but the entire game because you're just a solo carry. And it's insanely big. The spam knockback is just crazy broken and you're insanely fast. Like, it has everything you want in an ultimate and more. So when I start comparing it to Barbatos' ultimate, it takes like 2 hits to kill. This ult is definitely way better on Zaku 2 Melee. And then when I take a look at the other skills, you can tell Barbatos was obviously designed to be more of an assassin with crazy movement. I still think I prefer that movement comboed with the CC, but not having a Zaku 2 Melee on your team really feels like you were just missing that insane threat and presence that can just solo carry your whole team if they're not being careful. So having both would definitely be pretty strong, and being able to draw so much attention to yourself and then go invulnerable to damage hits the mark every time. And after I got used to doing it properly, it just gave my team a ton of freedom to at least int in the right direction, which is all I could really ask for. So comparison-wise, I would say you have a much better chance at solo carrying a game on Zaku 2 Melee over Barbatos because a lot of people are starting to learn how to actually counter him, or just pick things that counter him. And even more people hate Barbatos enough to just sit 2 to 3 of them on it to focus you out of the lobby. But nobody expects this big, beautiful, thick boy to pull up and wipe their whole team. Because there were so many times I had rage active and just W keyed through their whole team, melting everyone. It's actually so much fun that I just spam queued all day with it. I couldn't help myself and just did so much damage that I could tell other people were shocked when they were getting hit when you randomly go from like an axe swinging maniac just tickling people to deleting them in 2 or 3 hits. And I think what really sold me on the whole thing was how fast the combo is. Being able to instant cast your charge doesn't even feel like it's intended. And every time I had Barbatos come at me, charged up, ready to bonk, you just knock him out of it and then it's over. And the only reason I really compared the two of them is just because Barbatos is my personal favorite character. So if I had to rate bonk versus spin to win, it's spin to win all day.